Yeah, it's independent anniversary today. And hello and welcome to our discussion program this morning. I am Eshomomo Ibodu. Now, it's 55 years of Nigeria's independence anniversary. We still wonder if we are yet a nation state like civilized jurisdictions that have put their shortcomings behind them. Now, to what extent do we feel content to preach patriotism and the earnest wishes that our nationhood may be treasured? Now, how come we ask ourselves now more than ever before what to do? We need to do that, we need to do to get to where we want to be. Now, where would our strongest security and firm defiance of our nationhood come from? Now, the answers to these posers are somewhere within ourselves. Now, to help us shed light on Nigeria at 55, I have Professor Femi Ajayi, now from Babcock University. Prof, you're welcome, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
Just sitting close to, next to Prof is Dr. Fasi Yusuf, a lawyer, political commentator, and also expert, and also a fellow of the Department of Mass Communication, UNILAB. Doctor, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Just sitting close to me here. All right, close to me here, I have Clem Baye, a political analyst. Sir, you're welcome.
Good morning.
Now, let's just quickly go into our discussion of the day. Nigeria at 55. Now, you did listen or you read the speech of Mr. President. Now, what will you make out of his speech today?
I think his speech was brief and to the point. And one or two things that I took away from it. He said something about unity of purpose. When he's talking about unity of purpose, he's linking it to the human capital and how with the enormous human resources that we have in this nation, we ought to think alike in terms of what is our objective. We want to create a nation where the poor are taken care of, where the underprivileged are not oppressed, and so on and so forth. And it tells back to the old, the old idea that this is a nation out of many, one. Out of many ethnic groups, out of many different ideologies, just one. And I thought the president, at least on that point, at least that's one point that I took. There are several others, obviously, but that's one point that I took from it.
Okay. Doctor, let me just read this out to you from what the president says. October 1 is a day for joy and celebrations for us, Nigerians, whatever the circumstance we find ourselves in, because it is the day 55 years ago we liberated ourselves from the shackles of colonialism.
Yes.
So how do you see this statement?
Well, I think it's a normal statement that we expect from a leader, I mean, the president of the nation. But then it's also a time for stock taking to look at our performance over the last 1 year. And perhaps in our own case now, in the last 55 years, what have we achieved as a nation? And where are we and where are we going to?
Okay, where are we and where we're going to?
Yes.
Now, just taking a cue from what he said, and the president is inferring that, look, no matter the circumstances, we have a lot of challenges on our hand. We have security challenges. We have so many challenges on our hand. No matter what it is, we should be able to still celebrate, even if it is low-key. The fact that we are 55, the fact that we took it upon ourselves to liberate ourselves from colonialism. Some people say there's nothing worth celebrating because we're not yet there. But some say, look, the fact that we're still alive as a people, we have not divided, we've not gone apart, and that we should still be able to celebrate no matter how low that celebration should be.
Regardless, thank you for inviting me and happy 50th anniversary Nigeria. And to say that we liberated ourselves 55 years ago and we're still alive, that is a good thing. But Nigeria, I believe the message to Nigeria is that every individual in Nigeria, anywhere you may be in this world, what you should do is look at where we are, just like he said, where we are going, and how did we get to where we are today. Now let's take, for instance, when we fought for this independence, and then we'll have the freedom people how to do that. Then thereafter, we, in the selection of our leaders, they impose themselves on Nigeria. And we go through that imposition through Gowon, through Ironsi, Gowon, Buritala, Buhari himself, and then Babangida, and then Sulekan. I mean, again, we have another Absalam to actually hand over. Then we have the civilian from that of Awolowo and Zik and Tafawa Balewa. Then through Shehu Shagari, who actually, came here because of that imposition. He was imposed on us because of the election that was actually rigged that time. And again, thereafter, we had another one, and which Absalam or Suneka actually for a few minutes. Then again, we have the new one, which we had the new civil 1999. At that time also, it was imposed. Nigeria has not actually decided on their own to actually select somebody who is qualified, who really want to actually give the service to the country until maybe this last election. And you can say from this last election that we realize that most Nigerians spoke that it's about time we start to change. So I would say that Nigerians' mindset needs some quite changes. And again, and begin to get there gradually now that Nigeria, okay, let's have our own leaders. The one that is not being imposed by anybody. The military imposed some, even up to the time of when Jonathan left the office, he was still imposed on us. But if Nigerians should have the freedom to choose their own leaders, then the followership will be able to, because they established on what they had on the ground. But us now, we have to do that. That is why we have to change our mindset on what is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria is going to be great. And I'm quite sure because we have all the resources available in this world. And we should be thankful to God that we have never got any type of natural disasters in this country. All the disasters we have are just man-made. We made it ourselves. The leaders that were imposed on us, and we not even able to actually say, this is the person we want. And the person has to come again to say, okay, I'm ready to do this. And we know that, we realize that, yeah, this person can do it. Initially, people were very skeptical about Buhari because of his past record under the military. But now people are trying to settle down to say, okay, maybe this man has a purpose. You see what happened this morning. They had this independence anniversary, and I think he inspected only 5 guards. This is what we need to actually do. Calm down and see what is happening, and let's tailor whatever we borrow from Britain, whatever we borrow from America, to suit our own purpose.
Create our own style.
Exactly. Let's have our own style of governance. Democracy is democracy, but the style depends on the society itself. What we really want. We want progress. We want peace. I want to be able to wake up 2 a.m. in the morning and walk around the whole place without any problem.
Security, is that not? Okay, let me come to you, Mr. Baye, in this aspect that, yeah, we've talked about Nigeria at 55. Some people will say, is it an old young man or a young old man? Now, at 55, a lot of time we make statements that, okay, we're thankful to God we're still together. We're thankful to God that we're still one nation. But why has it been very difficult for us as a people? We've had more than 12 leaders, military, civilians at different times in Nigeria. Why has it been very difficult for us to attain the original goal of the founding fathers of Nigeria?
It's been difficult because, one, the followership, and then the leadership. I decided to start with the followership. What we expect of our leaders and what we put into electing our leaders determines the type of leaders that we have. I've said it many times that if you are thinking of voting for somebody and you say, this person has given me money, so I choose to vote for that person, you have, in a sense, disenfranchised yourself from the political process, because what you've done is that your vote has been bought. And once the person has paid for your vote, it means the person does not feel that he is accountable to you, because after all, he's paid for your vote. Now, those are some of the things that have affected the quality of our leadership, the quality of the type of people that we have. That's why I said followership and then the leadership. Leadership in the sense that the attitude to public office needs to change. And I think the president mentioned something like that, either tangentially this morning, that public office is a trust where you go to act in the interest of the nation, to act in the interest of the people. And then public office is a place where you go to think about what is it that is most critical. One of the most critical things in Nigeria today is the fact that so many young people are unemployed. Now, when you go into office and you are thinking about that, as opposed to thinking as to how you are going to help your friends to have access to the public till, how you are going to use the public till to benefit yourself and your immediate family, then we would have good leadership. So followership, leadership.
So followership, leadership. Now, somebody once said, Dr. Fassi, that there are two great discoveries or beginning in the life of a person, that the day you were born and also the day you discover why you were born. And if we say in case of Nigeria, probably the day we were born, 1960, October 1, was a great discovery. We all celebrated. We're still celebrating today. And also then the next one is why, the day you discover why you were born. Now, would you say as a people that we've been able to get into this second discovery?
Well, I think the process is still ongoing. I mean, if we look back, and we started with nationalism, which metamorphosed into parochialism. And now that we've discovered that, and we discovered that it's not doing us any good, it is time for us to reassess ourselves, which we have, I think we have done. And we're trying to see how we can make up for the lost glory, the lost past, and for us to be able to harness our resources, to be able to emancipate our country from the shackles of corruption, disunity, lack of patriotism, thievery. We don't call it corruption. Stealing is stealing, and lack of oneness and unity of purpose. As a nation, we have not done much. Our GDP is very low, despite our God-given resources. And I continue to say, you know, this country is one of the most blessed nations in the whole world. But unfortunately, we have not been able to utilize those resources to our advantage. Nations that have nothing to offer, nations that are not blessed, have done wonderfully well with themselves. I also say that, look, it is a nation that has not been visited with any natural disaster of any magnitude, earthquake, flood, and all the rest. But here we are yet to harness all these resources.
So what is the challenge in this?
The challenge is that we as a nation, collectively, we must decide for ourselves that, look, enough of the ugly past. We must chart the way forward, the future that will guarantee nationhood, like what you have in the European countries and all the rest. Look at some of the North African countries. Look at some of the Southern African countries. Now talk of the Americas. So many nations that we got independence about the same time, in the same league with us, Singapore, Malaysia, and so many others. Look at Brazil. The economy was in tatters. Brazil has done well with itself. Venezuela, that's why it's been isolated. It's better than Nigeria. We cannot even near Singapore. Singapore was a pariah state. But for woman, a leader. So we have a lot to learn from other nations. But until we are prepared, and we talked about leadership and followership, both, we see, that's the paradox of a nation. Leadership question, followership question, because followers will demand a lot from their leaders that are outside the normal norms. And leaders too, they also have their own agenda. So there's no Congress. And the common thing, the Congress should be nationalism, development, progress.
Now, Prof, let me come to this. At independence, the hopes were so high up. We had this celebration because the founding fathers gave us a dream where they expect us to be, and we're so excited that we're liberating ourselves, just like the president reminded us today that we liberated ourselves from colonialism. Now, how and at what point did we begin to get it wrong? I know a lot of people will say because when the military intervened, they distorted everything. But we've had the military left the scene for some time now. We've had different civilian governments come in place. Now, if we blame every time we blame it on the military, now what has been the role of the civilian administrations we've had in helping us to actualize our dreams?
Sorry, please. Professor, I'm sorry, sir. The point should be made. The problems that we are encountering today, those problems were started by our founding fathers.
Oh, not even the military now.
Yes, because they base everything on tribalism. The East voting for Easterners, the North voting for the Northerners, the West voting for the Westerners. So there was no nationalism ab initio.
I'll come back to that. I'll come back later so that we'll talk about this regionalism. Maybe it has any correlation.
Not regionalism.
I'll come back so I can explain better.
It's very interesting what you are referring to. But at the same time, when you are growing up as a child or anybody like that, you must have some kind of problems with your system. And you still have to actually adjust to suit whatever you are consuming. Okay. Now, Nigeria, when they started, well, we will have to actually make some adjustment in what we are doing. There will be a problem, of how we started as a country, as a nation. And from there, then the military did not even allow us. They came for a very good reason that time. They noticed it, but they did not allow the system to actualize and again adjust itself, which should have been done in any democracy at all. You are from Igbo, you are from Hausa, you are from Ido, who are mixing very things together. Even if you have two identical twins, they will behave differently. And you as the parent will have to see how well to actually balance with their behavior. I believe that the military stayed there for too long. That is one thing that actually caused our problem. And what they actually preach against now being practiced by them and being legalized by them and make it an institution for only. And then those of us, oh, this is what we are doing before, and you say you came to correct it, and now you are even actually, okay, let's do it. That is where we all went wrong. Because initially it wasn't like this. It was not like this. I would try to go anywhere. Awolowo, Ziki, they all travel out, and they realize that, well, what they've learned from there, they will bring it to this country. Even today, we have some of them, well, we disappeared, like myself too, I disappeared, years back. And they just tried to, they brought me back, but I'm still, maybe 1 quarter here, 3 quarters over there. But we still have to actually check ourselves to understand. Somebody mentioned about, one of my colleagues mentioned here now that we never had this natural disaster, like I said initially. It's just what we impose on us. Nigerians, the human resources is in abundance in this country. And those of us who travel out, just look around the world, you will see that Nigerians just on top. I'll give myself as an example. I was the first black, the first foreigner to occupy an executive position in the Office of Secretary of State in Atlanta, Georgia. And not just me, we have so many of them like that. So when we come to Nigeria, the culture, what we see on the ground is very, very disturbing to us. And this is where you have to, that's what I mentioned, that mindset of an average Nigerian have to change. If you are driving here in daytime, look around here, look around, there's no police or nobody to control traffic, we just go over. But in US, for instance, 2 a.m. you are driving.
Whether anybody is there watching you or not.
Say stop. That is what I mean by changing our mindset. So once we do that, everybody will, Nigeria would, like I said, the resources are there, both human and natural, and it's just for us to just do that. But when we make selection of our leaders, we make wrong choices of who should go there to represent us. Because like you mentioned, they are there to manage the resources of this country and make sure that it's evenly distributed. It's what we are, in my place, I have no water. I have very rough road. It's what a leader should be thinking. Okay, let's make life very comfortable for these people. And that is where all of us, all Nigerians, we have to change our outlook. Change our mental attitude on these things has to be done and the person who is going to represent our interest, who is going to distribute these resources, we should have somebody credible. Looking at this politician today, I don't see any saint among them. Because it's what they found on the ground, and that's what they're actually capitalizing on.
Okay. Okay, but looking at it this way, do we need saints to build a society?
No, we need practical people. We don't necessarily need saints. We need people of purpose, people who have great objectives. We were talking about, you said something in your intro, that the nation state. The nation state has institutions. It has the police, it has the judiciary, it has the revenue generating institutions, it has the institutions to correct things, build roads, maintain roads, and the rest of it. The problem is that a lot of the institutions, in fact, practically all of them, were set up, but also in it is the seed of their destruction. That they appoint people that are subverting the very purpose for which they were set up. Now, there's a famous case going on now, and everybody is saying, why is this person being charged to court for alleged wrongful declaration of assets? And people are saying it's because he's not the choice of a particular tendency to occupy the position he's occupying. But the issue really is that the institution that is now prosecuting this person, over the years, what have they been doing? Have they been doing what they were set up to do? That is what a modern nation state is supposed to be, that institutions do their job. They act in accordance with the purpose for which they were set up. This is an old thing. It's not just Jonathan's regime, because when there's a problem, people just say, oh, Jonathan's regime. But let's remember that a lot of the institutions for the past 15, 20 years, in fact, Femi was saying, Prof was saying that the military, and I dare say that what the military did was that they focused on themselves, and a lot of the institutions that, even those that they set up, they were not allowed to do the job for which they were set up. Okay. Why does somebody who is head of EFCC, why does he need an approval to do his job, to arrest a suspect? Why does he need to talk to the president or the governor or whoever?
I'm just, it's quite very interesting what he just said.
Okay.
Where are these institutions in this country? I think in this show or something like that, I made a kind of reference to NAFDAC and EFCC. NAFDAC, that may God may so rest in peace. She built that institution. That is what we call institution. An ordinary village woman, before he consume anything, she will say, oh, does it have NAFDAC information there? But when Nuhu was there, oh, he is coming, he is coming. After he left, what happened? That is building an institution. Where are these EFCC or ICPC or CCT or CCB? Where were they before? Were their hands tied? They were placed there to do something. And even what, I mean, what you refer to, if you ask any of these politicians to declare their assets, are they very valuable? Are they real? I mean, are they real? And 2003, just by its reference, what are they be looking at? They just woke up yesterday. We are not saying that everybody is clean. We know that. But at least they have to respect the institution as you mentioned. If they have been doing their job, even what by calling Saraki, maybe just mention that one, it's a question of just asking, this one is wrong. All this publicity we are talking about, it shouldn't happen. It's what should be done administratively.
Okay. For you to, if you want to comment on that, let me just bring the statement of Mr. President. They say, I bear no ill will against anyone on past events. Nobody should fear anything from me. We are not after anyone. He added something. I'm not quoting him directly. That something like you can only be afraid of the consequence of your actions.
Yes. Excuse me. I think we must get certain things right in this country. You see, we keep on apportioning blames. Whereas, as Caesar said, the fault is in us as individuals and as a collectivity. You see, under the doctrine of separation of power, you have the executive, you have the legislation, you have the judiciary, and we, the media, the fourth estate of the realm. Now, you see, under the executive, which is the most critical, that dictates what others do, all these arms are there. But where you make the mistake of appointing an incompetent and indolent leadership
over that institution,
then we will have had the kind of problems we had in the past. So now we have a leader whose body language speaks volumes. It's change, and piety. Be good, be clean, do your job. To the best of my knowledge, I think it would be stupid and naive of any body in the presidency to call you FCC, come do your job. They got the signal. This is what our leader
you were
expects.
employed to do a job,
yes,
so you don't need to be reminded.
And at the end of the day, as a lawyer, I will not be out here talking about commenting on issues before a competent court. I mean, it's rather unfortunate that lawyers come on air to talk about issues before the judiciary. That's content of the court, outside the face of the court. And it do not do our justice system any good if we continue to bring lawyers here to talk about CCB, Code of Bureau, CCB, or High Court, Federal High Court, Court of Appeal. You will be bringing the judiciary to ridicule.
But is there no room for talking about the background?
You can talk about the background, not on the issues,
not on
because,
the particular issues.
Yeah, the particular issues, because somebody has been charged to court. Let him prove his innocence, whether it is political or not. The point is, what are the ingredients? What are the issues involved? I don't care. A person did his own, others are doing theirs. So if you've got anything to hide, why do you have to hide anything in the first instance? So let that thing be exposed. If you don't have anything, you don't have any skeleton in your cupboard, for God's sake, you go scot-free. So when you hire a crowd to talk about you or to say this, or you get people to pass a vote of confidence on you and all the rest, it's begging the issue. You are intimidating the judiciary. You are intimidating them. Look at what happened yesterday. One of the judges that was to handle that case to determine it, said, look, I want to answer too much publicity about this case. And it's supposed to be, it's a sober profession, it is a conservative profession. That tempo must not be discredited under any guise.
Okay, we got you there. Now, Prof, going forward, we have a president in place now, and we are 55, no doubt about it. And there are some peculiar challenges we're facing, security and others. Now, how will you advise that this government now, from this moment on, should begin to tackle this challenge? Now, at the point the president said, okay, I give you guys 3 months to bring down Boko Haram to solve the security challenge. Now, on one side, the military have taken the battle to the insurgents in Sambisa and other places, and at the other hand, also you saw the insurgents also carrying out some actions against the state. Now, what exactly will you suggest that could be put in place to help us make additional progress in this fight against Boko Haram?
I tell you, you just mentioned one key word: security. That is the full responsibility of any government. I mentioned briefly that I want to wake up 2 a.m. and begin to talk about is security for an average citizen of this country. It's not just Boko Haram. We have kidnappers, we have armed robbers, we have pickpocketers, we have people around that you are not even secured in your own place. So we want this government to actually work on security overall, not just Boko Haram also, only. Security is the essence. So from this point on, the police should be able to do their job without asking you to give him or her something. and again our environment. They have to, the policeman staying at stations like that and checking vehicles, it's not what we are saying. They have to patrol. They have to move around all the communities to ensure that at night I can open my window and nobody will come in to go and steal my stuff. So security is very, very essential, not just Boko Haram. But that is the one key thing that if there is any security in this country, people will be allowed to do anything they want to do. However, they have to provide job for those who are actually, they have to sustain themselves with something, but not to be doing some illegal things. But society...
So creating employment can also help.
Yeah, then when I said that police should be patrolling all the communities, all these rules have to be actually taken care of. They have to have very good road system. They can move around easily. If there's any armed robbery somewhere, within 2 seconds, they should be there.
Okay. Yes, I was to add, I mean, as an addendum, you see, dislodging the Boko Haram is one phase of the whole thing. The second aspect, and the most critical, which will be a continuum, is intelligence gathering and people willing to volunteer information. If you are making improvised explosive device, one person cannot make it alone. You need to get all the parts and all the rest. So if somebody is seeing somebody doing something untoward, why don't you alert the security agencies?
So that's the role of the citizen.
Yes, an intelligence gathering, community policing, and what have you. If you don't have all these things, once you've defeated Boko Haram, there'll be a lot of pockets of this thing and all the rest. And again, when you even kidnap, it's not a one-man thing. 3 people, 5 people are involved. Some people will be holding on to the hostage. Some people will be out phoning, bargaining, and they move from one place to the other. Some people collect the money. Some people bank the money.
So it's a network.
It's a network. So why don't you dislodge those various networks and penetrate them as they do abroad? Because we're talking about intelligence gathering. Once we can get that sorted out, and I think, again, let's have an egalitarian society where service should be above self.
Service should be above self. Now, earlier when you were discussing, you talked about the role of leaders and also the role of the people. Now, he just highlighted what the people can do to help beef up security. Now, why has it been very difficult for us to have this level of confidence in the system? Yeah, institutions are there, but a lot of times the people are even, people find it difficult to help provide information for these security agencies, because we talk about intelligence gathering, and a lot of people around have so much information that could help out, but we don't seem to have the enabling environment for people to come out and provide those information.
The reason, Eshomama, is clear. It is that the institutions have been eaten deep into by just this same cancer that we call corruption. Now, I don't know whether you remember, there used to be a series of cartoons by a cartoonist called Bisi Ogunbadejo. And it was a series, I said, why in the Guardian, I said, why Nigerians don't go to the police? It ran for several months. It was several, you could actually make a mini book out of it. Now, why do they not go? Now, when you call the police, generally, I mean, you have some very, very good policemen. Let's face it. But when you call the police into something, and you see the way the thing is going, and you think that truth is not being pursued, pecuniary interests have taken over, you're not going to make a next effort next time to call the police. As you rightly said, and if we have community policing, which means that the people are part of the ears and eyes of the police, they're the ones that will say, yesterday I saw a Tokumbo car driven into this house. This man is just a welder. He only started welding business about 9 months ago. So where did he get, 1.5 million to buy a Tokumbo car? So people want to find out. Maybe there's even a local person that says, we congratulate you, but how did this come about? people want to find out. You ask questions.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Just on the screen, the small segment on the screen there, you can actually say the parade is still going on in Abuja. That's the parade by Mr. President. But I have my first call on the line this morning, Fred from Oturukpo in Benue State. Fred, good morning.
Good morning, TVCD.
Yeah, good morning. Nice having you join us.
So thank God, I want to make a little contribution here. I'm happy that for the first time, the country, Nigeria, is getting it on the right footing in our republic. And we are celebrating our 50th year on the grand side. And we are, I encourage Nigerians to join hands in this administration in supporting them in prayers and equally supporting them in information, just like one of your participants just said, in intelligence gathering, because security is paramount and everybody's business. And so we need to really join forces in supporting this government for the government to succeed, and for the Nigeria which is only ours. We have no other place than this country that for Nigeria needs the Nigerians. We should be proud of our country and help to make it the paradise it ought to be for us. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Fred. Dr. Fasil, let me come to you with this. I got this also from the speech of Mr. President. Let me read it out again. It said, those of our refineries which can be serviced and brought back into partial production will be enabled to resume operations so that the whole sordid business of exporting crude and importing finished products in dubious transactions could be stopped.
Yes, I endorse that statement, and I think it's not different from what the opinion of patriotic Nigerians, especially those who are not part of the cabal in the oil business. I mean, those who have soiled their hands in the oily business. And of course, you know, the refineries, some of them are 30, 40, if not 50 years old. And again, most of them have outlived their usefulness. And even the capacity they can produce now. You see, now we have smaller ones, mobile refineries, that can be set up with.
We can invest more in.
Yes, and I think we should just scrap most of them, if not all of them, and start anew.
Okay.
Because, for example, now, if we have that of the Oriental Oil in Onisha, that of Dangote and all the rest, and some others that are trying to spring up. One in, I think around Padagri, the one in Olukola, and the other one in Onisha.
It will be a lot of
surely, because I mean, to me it's nonsensical and ridiculous.
Okay. Sorry, I'll get back to you. I have a caller on the line. Now, Musa from Lafia, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Nice to have you join us.
Sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. I'm listening.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure, sir. I want to put okay. The Party of National Development. Nigeria has been so deceived for too long. In order not to waste your time, I want to put this medium to prescribe a particular way to this our national development. That is, when these our leaders are coming to assume office, they take oath whether they are Christian to hold the Holy Bible, if they are Muslim to hold the Holy Quran. Then the question is, the elders of this state, they are doing it reflected in the context of their character. So please, if you help us appeal to our religious leaders, they should get their followers that are in position of authority to let that vote be made, that promise, the promise be made before man and God following. Our belief will reflect in the context of our character.
Okay.
Then, there are too many footsteps around votes in this country.
Okay.
The right people
Thank you very much, Musa. You've made your point. We do appreciate. So too many square pegs in round holes in this country. Now we hope that with the list, the president
the list.
I mean, the list of the president will be round pegs. And
why didn't you include my name there in the list? on what Nicola just said in terms is what I said. I mean, mentioned that. We can borrow from anywhere in the world, but we have to tailor it towards our own culture. Now, when these politicians, when they were sworn in, or anybody of them, they either bring a Quran or Bible. I would suggest that we need to bring one additional thing to mend up our own tradition. Maybe an iron. Let them swear the name of iron.
That is, if you believe in it, because those who believe in the Quran will hold the Quran. Those who believe in the Bible will hold the Bible. So if you believe in that, you hold it.
Either they believe or not. The clothes we put on, the food we eat, the vehicle we drove are all made of iron. If you can swear to that, maybe that
I don't think it would be right for us to force that belief down the
No, it's the culture. We are talking about
I want to ask you.
Yes.
The question I want to really ask you is taking it up from what he said, that look, we have a lot of these refineries are quite moribund and they are not efficient, and the technology outside there are cottage refineries, small refineries here and there. Now. The government had given licenses to some individuals to build refineries. We know that there are challenges in them getting them fixed, getting them up, and all that. Now, going
deliberately,
forward,
they killed them.
You say the people killed them, or the government?
The government killed them.
Now, do you agree with that? Before
I don't think it, because recently I watched one program.
Let's just hold it here. I have Adekunle on the line. Adekunle, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Independence to you, sir.
Yeah, happy Independence to you also.
And my regards to the white man in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I want to make a contribution, especially concerning the security as regards the police and the people of the nation.
You have the floor.
Yeah, I want to say that the police has already lost the confidence of the people. Why? If I reported a case to police, that okay, this man is engaging in illicit maybe activities. At the end of the day, police went ahead to go and inform the person that your neighbor, Mr. Agbaja, is the one that asked us to come and arrest you. And they put my life, my children, everybody in danger. Do you think I'll be able to go again to go and report?
Okay.
And over the years, the recruitment in police was not the same. We need to overhaul it, or maybe we'll start afresh.
Okay.
Because the people we have in the police today, we have authorities, we have people that are destitute.
Thank you so much, Adekunle.
Those things is our.
Yeah, your point is taken. Your point is taken. I'm talking about whistleblowers protection. If somebody blows the whistle, somebody gives an information, do we have sufficient protection for such an individual? Hope we don't give the person.
Yes, hopefully, he just mentioned that we do have to overhaul the police. Their mentality, the way they were doing their work. Okay.
Now, you tried disagreeing with him, but just quickly, you disagree with him that said the government deliberately killed them.
Government did not allow or did not approve anybody to go and be sabotaging this oil thing. Okay. I watched a program on TV recently, and I saw where the police captured some people. I mean, see the setup over there. It's been for years that I'm doing that. You may say that maybe the government is doing that or not doing efficiently to actually capture those people. It's not set up overnight. There they actually ship out this crude oil for refining. So why could they be doing that in this country? If the government are doing what they are supposed to do, but not that. I don't think that the government. I don't think that the government will say, okay, go and set up.
No, he said surreptitiously. So it's not as if it is deliberate. And gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for coming on this morning today, on this special this morning today on our 55th anniversary, independence anniversary. And Mr. Clem Baye, political policy analyst, thank you so much.
Thank
Dr.
you,
Fasi Yusuf, lawyer and political communication expert. We thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Professor Femi Ajayi, Dean, School of Social Science, Babcock University. Thank you so much. Now, for all our viewers and those who call in, we want to thank you for being part of this morning today. I will quickly take you over to Abuja, where we still have the parade going on, and Mr. President is there. Just listen and watch that. My name is Eshomo.
Thank you very much.
A great nation, equally great leadership. Next will be the cutting of the anniversary cake, and of course followed by presentation of anniversary congratulatory card by the Commander Guards Brigade on behalf of officers and men of the Guards Brigade. Special guest Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Please respect the protocol officers, the protocol personnel to please usher the dignitaries for light refreshment, please.
Hello?
Yes, of course, after the cutting of the anniversary cake and, of course, the receipt of the